I'll say this much about the Canadian wrestling crowds. They are full of some of the most unique, energetic, and passionate individuals on the face of this planet. They will boo who they hate, cheer who they love, let you know how they feel, and if you knock their local sports team, go sports, it doesn't matter. They are going to absolutely lay into you, and they are going to cheer their hometown heroes till their dying breath. Tonight's crowd in Toronto was no different. The energy was here, kept going, and shot up into the stratosphere at the very end. They truly brought the goddamn thunder. It was really, really infectious. So infectious that I think we should all go to our local clinic and get tested immediately, if not sooner. Nevertheless, I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from Toronto, Dramatic Pause, Ontario, Canada. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. Also, a quick note. The last couple weeks, including tonight, I've been able to review Dynamite right after it was done playing live. That's going to change. The work schedule is going back to normal, so the reviews will be posted the next day. There you go. I will say the crowd was pretty much the high point, because outside of a couple things I didn't mind, this show was a mess. This was a real mess. This felt very much like late era WCW, with just throwing stuff at the wall to see what stuck. And while they have talent, they actually have a good amount of talent. They have talent bubbling up. They have talent with tremendous potential, talent they're misusing. And you could say that about multiple companies. AEW is kind of in turmoil right now because of the Warner Brothers Discovery possible merger with NBC Universal in 2024. That's a whole other video for another day, but, they're trying to cut down the swearing. There was an F-bomb and an S-bomb that got through. Oh boy. Somebody at the censor station didn't have their finger on the button. They didn't push the red button. You get that, you're a longtime MST3K fan. That being said, Excalibur, Shivani, and Taz on commentary, guest commentators throughout the night. And Renee Paquette is all elite. Mrs. John Moxley herself, she carved out a hell of a run in WWE, despite the fact that they kind of cut her off at the knees. She was great on Talking Smack. Her and Daniel Bryan, now Bryan Danielson, had tremendous chemistry. And you know what? Utilize her as a backstage interviewer if they want to have her do pre-show analysis and have her, do these Road 2 shows. She's going to be really good at that. She's going to be a good asset for the company. So, we have Christian. Christian, at last, you are on your own in Toronto. And he immediately knocks Maple Leafs. Pretty easy target. And now here's Luchasaurus against Jungle Boy. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's the grudge match. Let me just say there were a couple things I did like in this match initially. Luchasaurus overpowering Jungle Boy going after the arm to stop the chokeslam. Good psychology. He also immediately broke out a table, which should have raised questions as far as the referees, what the hell's the referee going to do? But, it's Rick Knox. The guy that could play either a discount Nosferatu or Renfield. Seriously, Rick Knox, who I'm sure is a nice guy, is the worst referee in major wrestling. The absolute worst. I know he's a favor of the Bucks. It makes sense, considering he refereed all their matches, and who knows when they're going to come back. I would be happy if the Bucks and Omega never came back, but nevertheless, while, yes, the, big man, little man aspect could have worked, they break out a table, and it immediately goes to just ridiculousness. They do stuff where Jungle Boy survives almost everything. Luchasaurus, when he was kept simple, could actually do some stuff. I saw him at a Feud to 5 shows. The guy can work. The guy can. But this feud has already gone on way too long, and with Christian injured, and who knows how long he's going to be out, at least I would imagine till January, if not longer, and the feud was already getting played out as it was. So we get, at one point, we get a sunset flip bomb through the table outside. No DQ called, because Rick Knox is a terrible referee. And that's where I just pretty much gave up on the match. Christian comes down. We get a buckle razor bomb. It's amazing the Jungle Boy was standing. And then we get a choke slam for 2. We get a Poison Rana, because every match has to have a Poison Rana for no reason. The Poison Rana is a stupid move. And then we get the kill switch variation for 2. We get a snare trap. And then we get an avalanche choke slam and a reverse DVD. I don't even know what the hell you call it. 1, 2, 3. Right result, Luchasaurus should have won this. But the thing is they do the table stuff and they do a whole bunch of other nonsense where the referee has to basically not count or just look away or, I don't know, go to a blood bank and forget to say when. I mean, seriously, Rick Knox is fucking terrible at his job. Absolutely terrible. And this set the tone, unfortunately, for the night not going all that well. Now, the fans loved it, and that's fine. If everybody loved it in the crowd, and if you were in the live crowd, I want to say you guys again brought the energy, but good God. Renee was with Stokely, Ethan, and Jose, and apparently Private Party is free from their contracts, but now they're signed with the firm. And then Matt wants them freed to do what they want any old time. Ethan says, hey, how about this? How about I face you, but if you win, they're free. If I win, then we own your contract. Yet Ethan is taking on Isaiah Cassidy tonight, or on Rampage. Is that stipulation still applying there? I don't know. Ethan has talent, but I think he's pretty much just been neutered. Matt Hardy doesn't mean anything. He can't move in the ring anymore. And as a friend of mine pointed out, they are fighting over the ownership of 2 black men in an all-inclusive company. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nicole. I'm just going to say her name here, not her username, but you know who you are. Now QT's cutting a promo. So the ratings probably weren't that high to begin with because we have, I believe, the MLB playoffs. And we have other stuff going on. But now a QT promo. QT, who I'm sure is a nice guy, should not be cutting promos. The Factory, well, Camarato and Solo, Noah Gogo, they're there. And then suddenly Wardlow show up. Wardlow and Samoa Joe. They beat the crap out of them, and there you go. That's it. That's it. And then they do the Powerbomb Symphony to QT, but then Prince na 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 na, Prince na 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 na, hey hey na 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 na. Okay, enough of that. He shows up with Brian Cage. Brian Cage getting to cut a promo was certainly a choice. Khan looks great. That's Khan with a U, K-A-U-N. And Toa Leona isn't bad at all. But they cut a promo. Hey, FTR isn't here. Here's FTR. Best tag team on the planet. And they can't find proper matches for them. They had a match on Battle of the Belts, which wasn't bad, but because they only had 3 matches, they had to go a little bit longer than it should have. And they have a partner. They have a tag partner. It's Toronto's own Shawn Spears, who's back doing his 10 gimmick. I was wondering if Shawn Spears is still employed. You know what? Good for Shawn Spears. Good for him. He's doing a gimmick that was pretty much the most over that he was, in all honesty, by him just doing the 10-inch motion. Also, congratulations to him and Cassie Lee, a.k.a. the former Peyton Royce, on their upcoming child. Shivani is backstage with Jericho, Menard, and Parker. This is terrible. Jericho is trying, but he's washed. He's washed. Washed physically. I don't care how you look outwardly. You can tell that he's labored and not able to really move anymore. And then Max Caster mentioned something about Swerve. I'll have your face looking black like just like Trudeau. I gotta say this much. Yeah, you shouldn't do blackface, and I don't care what side of the fence you fall on. You deserve to get ridiculed for that. It was years ago, still doesn't goddamn excuse it. But we have Swerve versus Billy Ass. Scissor me, Billy Ass. Somebody also pointed out how he was one member of the Smoking Guns and how he's into scissoring. Wish I could quit you, boy. Anyway, moving on from that. Oh, scissor me, daddy ass. Billy is going to be 59 in a few weeks, and yes, he is on copious amounts of you-know-what, but he still looks great. Swerve, I wondered if he could be arrested for beating up the elderly. Will you be serious? Swerve targeted the knee. Billy did try using his power. Stomp off the top for 2. And then eventually we got a roll-up, and Swerve is in the ropes. Use the ropes, 1, 2, 3. Not a bad match. The fact that Billy can move at all and move that well at his age is saying something. And Swerve's all, happy and everything. And then here come the Acclaimed who weren't out there to help him. And then here's Sterling and Nice. I own the trademark Scissor Me. Mark Sterling could actually work if this was a believable character, but it's not. It's stupid. And now, how many people is he feuding with? First, he was feuding with Ward Joe. They laid him out. Now he owns a trademark Varsity Blondes, or Varsity, and now he owns a trademark for this. Is he going to go after the people that made Varsity Blues next? There goes my hero. Now they can't do the scissoring thing. Now it's going to lead to the Acclaimed having to beat Nice and Woods, i.e. Nice, to retain the tag team championships and win the trademark back. yeah, Tony, we get it. You're not happy with contract tampering. You're not happy with this, and go ahead and do it, and we'll tie you up in court for months and months and months. We get it, Tony. You don't like the WWE. You didn't return your phone calls or something, but contract tampering went on all the time and everything. You signed a whole bunch of people to 5-year deals, and look where that's getting you. It's getting you crowds that are hot here, and in Washington, D.C., they couldn't draw anybody. Be interesting to see if they go back to Toronto, like, say, in the spring, and if they draw the same level of crowd. I hope they do. But this just felt silly. Marvez with MJF stoically interrupts, and MJF says, that's strike 2. Strike 3, and you're out of here. And then he goes on promo. He talks about Regal and how MJF is the best, and that basically he's going to win the championship. By hook or crook, he's going to win the championship. MJF's promos are always great to listen to because the guy just understands what he's doing. He's a natural. He's really, really good at what he does. Unlike the next segment, Dynamite will be on Tuesday this coming week, which means the NXT and Dynamite reviews, plus Tales from the Territory on the AWA, territory. And I think there's one more thing that I might have to review on the 8th, or from the 18th. So I'm going to basically just be posting review after review after review. It's going to be 4 videos in about the span of about, I'd say, 8 hours I'm going to be recording. Nevertheless, Moxley is here. He just takes the mic from Shivani and starts talking. Look, Moxley cuts a decent enough promo when he's not talking about drinking blood and breaking bones to make people's bread. And he said how people, want to be where he is, but they crack under the pressure. MJF watches on while this is going on. Here's Hangman. Hangman at times was fine in this, and other times it just felt forced. Hangman's stock has fallen dramatically, mainly because he went into business for himself, and it didn't fucking work at all. He said, you called me a kid. Am I still a kid to you? Yeah, that's exactly what you are. You're not the same guy that pushed me up the ladder 1 year ago, and you don't have the guts. When you get the shot, you won't be able to pull the trigger. He's like, I will be able to because I'm tired, I'm depressed, and the medicine isn't working or whatever. Oh boy, the medicine isn't working. He has had sleepless nights, and he starts hitting himself in the head. And he says, I hope so because I'm an effing man. This kind of stuff. I believe they cut Cash saying an F-bomb, and then MJF actually said shit in the backstage promo. Censor people were falling asleep. This wasn't bad. Paige got a little bit of fire, but the thing is, the bloom's off the rose with Paige. It just is. So they're going to have their match next week in Danielson's hometown. I hope that Moxley wins. Moxley versus MJF is where they need to go. Why do I fear that somehow they're going to try to slot Nick Gage in again? Because Moxley lost to Nick Gage in a title versus career match at whatever GCW show that was. Somebody told me about it. I worked during the event, so I didn't have a chance to watch it. But watch them have Nick Gage show up, because that's just what we need when the censors and the standards and practices are interfering more and more. Danielson gets a pop, and Chris Irvine Jericho is Lionheart. I will stop calling him by his government name when he admits he's a piece of shit. Danielson versus Irvine Hart. Ring of Honor TV, or Ring of Honor title match. I wish it was the Ring of Honor TV Championship. I wish Danielson was the Ring of Honor World Champion. Unfortunately, he's not. Regal joins commentary. Danielson having to carry Jericho. Jericho nearly crashes and dives on a crossbody outside. The spirit is willing. The body is saying, please stop, please stop. And the crowd was clearly behind Jericho because, Canadian hero. Though y'all deserve to have the Maple Leafs, Raptors, and Blue Jays continue to lose because you want to cheer a guy that donated money to a guy that tried to lead an insurrection on our capital, which doesn't affect you, but still, screw the people that wanted to cheer for. I kid. You guys are cool. It just, come on. The guy's exposed himself as a moron. Terrible code breaker, by the way. The referee gets knocked down. Big shock. We get shenanigans where Garcia shows up and grabs the title. And he's going to hit Jericho. No, he hits Danielson. So they just killed Garcia's, immediate momentum. That's going to take about another 6 months to a year to rebuild. Good job there. I mean, I'm not even a big Garcia fan, but he's got talent. Whatever. Jericho wins. I get why they didn't have this be the main event. Good Lord. Regal, Claudio, and Wheeler eventually show up. Where were they? Were they having coffee? Were they having some Tim Hortons? So, by the way, Renee was with Nyla, who has stolen the TV championship, or TBS TV championship from Jade. Vicky, I vote for the Wall Guerrero. I would like to say right now, once again, that if Vicky Guerrero was gone and Eddie was here instead, nobody would miss Vicky. And I think that was Marina Shafir, but we don't know her. So Anna Jay also shows up and challenges Nyla. I understand that they have to, sometimes they have to lump the stuff with the women together. You could have had this on before the Moxley promo. I think it would have been fine. You would have spread the women's stuff out a little bit more. Speaking of women's stuff, Sheeta and Storm taking on Jamie Hayter, who is super over, and Britt Baker with Rebel. Jamie way over. I have also ascertained that Britt Baker must either throw tantrums or just not want to take clean pins without a bunch of shenanigans and a bunch of bullshit and whatever, because while Britt did get super over and survive that knee injury or whatever the heck it was, and survived broken noses, and had a hell of a run as AEW Women's Champion, ever since that, it has become clear that Britt is not that good. She has regressed horribly and doesn't really do it. When she does the stomp, it looks like she barely lifts her foot off the ground. I wish Sheeta and Jamie would both slap me around like that, is what I noticed. Scintillating camera work during this match, by the way. But in all seriousness, 3 out of these 4 could really be the pillars of the women's division. They're young enough, they're talented enough, they have enough experience. Jamie Hayter, in particular, it just hits like a tank. Just hits great. And it did get messy. Got really messy. And then we get the rolling tumble act and everything. 1, 2, 3. Sheeta pins Britt. Britt's taken a lot of pins, but none of them have really registered. That's just how I see it. So, Rampage, Moxley, and Claudio versus Butcher and Blade with the Bunny. And there you go. That's going to be a match. Speaking of matches, Pock versus Orange Cassidy for the All-Atlantic Championship. This is your main event. This is your main event. On a cable broadcast show, Pock looks great. I know there are fans of Orange Cassidy, but no. The All-Atlantic Championship hasn't even meant anything since Pock won it. I know he's defended on a couple dark episodes. He defended against Trent for what that's worth, not much. But a tombstone on the ramp, and Cassidy just lazily rolls down because he does the same stuff every match. People that like it. I don't. DDT sells by Pock, and then he tries to get the hammer involved, but Danhausen shows up and gets knocked down. It's one of the only good things about the match. And then 2 hammers. He has another hammer into the ring. Orange Cassidy has 2 orange punches, 1, 2, 3, and confetti, and all that. And that's it. Okay, the All-Atlantic Championship sure had a nice run, didn't it? Yeah, I'm starting to sour a bit on AEW. There's good stuff. I don't know what the fuck this company's doing anymore. Agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.